Hey everyone, welcome back to Rogue 16. We are back again. We're doing an interesting video today where we're just going to try to talk about what we think might be coming up for San Diego Comic-Con 2025. It's funny, Jason, I think you saw this, Jason, in one of the groups where I believe it was a Regal Robot group that people were putting up, you know, oh, what do we think is going to come up? We're gonna see for San Diego
Sure.
Comic Con,
Yeah.
and you know, everyone kind of put in their like what pie in the sky type of thing, but then they also put in, oh, like realistically what I think is going to happen. And I saw that and I was like, oh, we should do a video about like what we think might come from, you know, Blitzway, you know, Sideshow, PCS Collectibles, a Regal Robot, and just kind of talk about a little bit about what we might see, what we think we might see, what we'd like to see. Those are two very different things. So yeah, anyway, I think that'd be a fun thing to do. Jason, you're coming out for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
I think I think Jason and I are going to be going to, I believe we're going to be going to Thursday, Friday, for San Diego Comic-Con. So what we're hoping is in that we'll also be doing some live streams those nights to kind of cover things. So we're going to be doing a lot of San Diego Comic-Con, you know, just content in general. So keep an eye out for that, but we're looking forward to that. That'll be fun. But yeah, let's get in real quick and kind of chat about, you know, kind of what we're thinking we might end up seeing. Let's start with Blitzway.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously from Blitzway we've seen good old Anakin, and they've got Anakin, they've got the what's his name, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then they've got the Black Series. They're the Black Label version of Anakin. We've seen them tease some other things, right? We've seen old Ben. I think we saw them tease a Vader.
Yes, there was
Correct?
a Vader silhouette, correct? Yeah.
So what do you think, Jay? What do you think we'll see?
So I think we might see a repeat of that. I think we're definitely going to see Anakin. We're going to see Obi-Wan, a prequel Obi-Wan. I think we're going to see Old Ben.
Yeah.
Whether or not they'll reveal Vader yet, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the prototype's complete, but we do know that at least the silhouette will be there. It would be nice if by the time SDCC comes around that Vader as a prototype is complete and then we get the silhouette or a teaser of another.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems the direction that they're going in, which makes sense, is so far we have prequel Vader and Obi-Wan. We have OT Vader and Obi-Wan. I think it's been undecided if it was Jedi Luke or Mando Luke, right? Based on
Oh, that's
the
right,
black
Luke.
tunic.
I forgot about
Yep.
Luke. Yep.
I mean, the brown or black tunic.
I think it's
But
Mando
if,
Luke. I think it
yeah.
is. I think it's Mandalorian Luke.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Mandalorian. Maybe not at SDCC, but soon to come. And what I'm hoping to see, and again, this is sort of like, you know, what would be great to see versus what we will see, is if they at this scale and this sort of realism went with a 3PO and R2. It's long overdue. I mean, we get the
That'd be
1/3
so
scale for
sick.
Sideshow that everybody chases down. And even those, they're great for what they are for the offerings, but they're not the best. And it's just that they're the best now because it's the only thing available.
Right.
But I think
Yeah.
if we saw something like that, even the idea of it being teased, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. Look, if if we get, my gosh, if we got a C-3PO in R2, I mean, look, Sideshow has done a good premium format version of those, but it's been a
Yeah.
long time. So it would be great to see. It'd be great to see a really high quality version of C-3PO and R2. I mean, it would be amazing if we
I mean,
got,
imagine if they were like die cast or properly
yeah,
chromed
yeah,
or,
but
you
also
know,
think about just any of the OT, you know, characters. Like what if we got freaking Chewbacca, or we got Han Solo, or like any of that stuff, dude. I mean, anything. It would be so sick. I mean, it's good. It gives you hope that if they're doing Old Ben, you think, yeah, they're going to do some of these other characters. I don't see why they wouldn't at that point.
Yeah.
But man, this, the quality that they're doing this stuff at, like Anakin looks so good. And this isn't the Black Label version either. This is the just normie,
It's a 9.4.
I mean, look at this. It's $549. Is the
It's a hot toy, brother.
It's
A hot toy.
crazy, dude. It's crazy. The price is amazing. Obviously the Black Label is like what, 1,500. It's a lot more expensive, but I just hope they keep knocking these things out and keep coming out, giving us more of these, because I think they're going to be amazing. Now, we haven't gotten them in hand yet. Have we seen these in person, Jason? I can't remember if we have.
I don't believe so.
I don't know if we have. So, we haven't. I don't know if we've seen these in person, nor have we actually gotten them, obviously. So, I think the jury's still out on if we're going to want a lot more of these.
Well, yeah, because there's still the question of, instead of swap outs, they're sort of movable.
Right.
Or
It's like a action statue, I think is what they call it.
So that's gonna. I know that a lot of people are gonna like that. I know there's a small, small group of people who may be a little turned off by the way that's done, depending on how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and guys, it really is. It's gonna be fun. I really hope Blitzway. I think Blitzway will have a booth at SDCC. I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm pretty sure they did last time, or they shared a booth. I could be wrong. I get them mixed up sometimes with Iron Studios, and what we've seen, even though they're very different. But yeah, I know Iron Studios will be there. I'm pretty sure Blitzway will be there, and I hope they will, is what I'm trying to say. Let's move to the next one. Sideshow. So Sideshow obviously is not going to be at SDCC, which I mean, I don't,
I know.
I can't.
It's such a missed opportunity now.
It's hugely missed. I mean, come on, dude. What a miss. Like, why the hell would Sideshow not want to come back to SDCC? I just don't get it.
The other thing, Matt, for this particular release, I mean, I know they have others, right? We have Nihilus, we have a few others to cover, but with this particular release, I feel like this alone would be worth it, because for all the people that, are discouraged by the price,
correct,
unsure about the segment of the X-Wing cockpit,
right,
seeing it in person, I think is going to change a lot of minds.
You need to see this in person.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be plenty of people that order it, and they'll probably love it, because I do think it's going to be a great piece. But I do think you're right, Jay. I think the
turnover would be much higher if you see it in
person. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And that's what we've talked about this several times, even on the phone, just talking about things and going, why would Sideshow decide that doing the whole Prime 1 video thing, right? Which I understand. Look, Prime 1, they're far away. They've decided to go the whole, like, just show them on video what they're going to get kind of a thing. And I think it's been very successful for them. But, Sideshow's kind of followed that same format. And I think it's a miss, because I think you miss out on things like this where you can see really amazing pieces in person and get excited. And, they always brought other pieces in, right? They would bring Prime 1 Studio pieces in. They would bring, some Blitzway pieces or Iron Studio pieces. It was just the booth was amazing.
The one thing I was thinking is, it obviously comes down to cost factors, right?
Sure.
They're realizing how much money they're saving, but they used to be a pretty large presence at SDCC.
Yeah.
I think they can still come, showcase some pieces, and they don't have to be the centerpiece of the show. They can still have a piece of the pie without really, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking up a large footprint.
No, and even something like this where they're, and they're going to come out with more. They're coming out with more pieces. Like,
Yeah.
they're like before the con, before all this stuff, we're going to see more. So I just don't, I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't understand why. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they wouldn't think that. I've said this to you before, Jason. I just don't get why, like, doing the whole like Sideshow Con thing, how like this, it must be successful for them, right? It must work, and it must be exactly what they want to get out of it. And it could be also that the cost of SDCC has just outweighed what they get back from it. But I don't see how that's possible. I mean, so many people, their booth was always so packed.
A
And
lot
you
of
think,
people, a number of people would go specifically as that being their number one
yeah.
coverage or list, or yeah.
Yeah, so I just don't see why they wouldn't want to get back to it. But whatever, it is what it is. It's such a bummer to not have them there. But we will get Sideshow Con or whatever they call it. So we'll be able to discuss during the SDCC when we do some lives and when we do some other things. We'll be able to discuss their releases as well, because they time them around that. So it is what it is. But there's some, yeah, they've just come out with obviously the Luke, X-Wing Luke or whatever, Luke and X-Wing, the Nihilus, which is a mythos size statue, but then also a premium format size statue, so a quarter scale. It looks great. They look like they've got a lot of interesting pieces. I mean, I would love, in terms of what we could possibly see from them, I would love for them to get back to, again, I mean, this is like it's kind of like what we just said about Blitzway, but I'd love to see them do some keep doing some original trilogy characters.
Yeah.
I really think the Luke statue with the X-Wing was super innovative and like interesting and different.
Yeah,
And
it's unique.
It is unique, and I'd love to see them do some more of that with Han or Leia, or they don't have to do everything that's floating. They don't have to have everything floating, which yeah, I don't think they have to go that crazy with them, but I do think that some more old school premium format stuff like they did, right? They just got the likenesses wrong, I feel like, in the past. So I think they could do that, and it would be interesting to update those. I don't really want to see any more mythos pieces. What do you think, Jay? Like,
I wouldn't necessarily say we're getting mythos fatigue, but I think what they did with the line has been a little confusing. I think it's for some it's been interesting and like, hey, it gives me a good way to get into it. For me, I'm somebody who doesn't like to have too many statues in my collection due to
yeah,
the amount of
right.
space to take up and the way you have to display them. So the dual offering in size is sometimes positive for some, but I mean, I don't know. There's a number of things that come into play from a collector's perspective, such as like the original run, right? They were a large run, 4,500.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give them away now because of the
Yeah.
two variations. And I said this on on a previous stream. When you have characters like Nihilus, 5 years ago, something like this probably would have sold out. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're a day late and a dollar short. They missed the mark.
With this one,
Not necessarily the design or the execution, but because it's something that collectors wanted so bad, eventually collectors got together and made it.
yeah,
You
just made
know,
it themselves.
it's like, hey,
Yeah,
if if can't beat them, join them, and yeah, people just ended up getting them made themselves. Yeah,
yeah, you're not
and
wrong.
there's some really nice Nileses out there.
There
There's a
are,
couple. They're all really well done.
yeah, there are some really really
I mean,
nice
not to
ones.
say that this isn't, but how many do you need if you're a fan?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's really this one is really nice, but you're right. There are some. It's got a lot of competition. Like
Yeah,
there's
it
it's
does.
stiff competition for that. So I agree. But I would like to see.
And there
It'd be
wasn't.
interesting to see some of their, like their, in the past they did the I don't know if it was bus or if life size. Like they don't do a lot of life size stuff anymore.
No, they pretty much stopped at the most recent was the Mando and the update of Boba Fett from Mando.
Mm-hmm.
But even that's been 3 4 years now.
Yeah.
Prior, you had Kylo and Darth Maul. Darth Maul was a 2.0. He was a second um, variation. I own both those, and I gotta say they were beautifully they were well done and beautifully executed. But yeah, it would be nice to see them revisit that, and I don't know. I mean, this is kind of cool. We get the alternate portrait, but having the two versions, it's like a legacy and a non-legacy. Like, what's the offering besides a light up effect and a switch out? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be worth it to some, but I can't see this being a large run that sells well unless they really start going down that avenue of getting really unique or obscure characters, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they
Right.
release a Revan, they release a Malik, they release
Well,
a
and
Plagueis.
that's hey, look, and that's a good shout. That's a good shout because I think we have seen Sideshow release something. It was like a. It was like a. I'm not. I don't want to say ad, but it was like this little graphic that they released that said I think something about like more is coming or something.
Yeah,
It seems like people are thinking they're going to release more of this type of stuff. So think more dark side characters, the freaking Malgus, right? Like some of those, like, yeah, they're just gonna go. I think they're gonna do some more dark side stuff. So we could actually see them release some of that stuff for SDCC. I think
yeah,
I personally would love to see more them go more down. Well, they can do this line for sure. It's fine, but go more light side as well. Like do more light side stuff. I like that they did Mace Windu. I think that's awesome. Um, I love, obviously, I love the Luke, but I'd like to see more, and I'd like to see them do more Luke
yeah.
stuff personally. Um, and
Because
then
the thing about Luke,
yeah,
Vader's Vader, right?
yeah,
For the diehards, they can point out the difference between the New Hope, the ESP,
sure,
and the Jedi,
yeah,
garbs. But for Luke, you have Dagobah Luke, Bespin Luke, Jedi Luke,
right,
New Hope Luke. Like you have so many variations. You have Hoth Luke, you have Pilot Luke. There's so many variations that you can put Luke in. So many dynamic. I mean, look how dynamic that Nihilus is.
yeah,
Look at him. Look at the Luke getting into the X-wing. There's so many variations you can
so
do of
so
Luke
good,
where you can really enjoy that. And it'd be kind of cool to have a very much needed and a very much updated Han and Chewie. The
yeah,
last premium performance that released of those, the first one was almost 20 years ago,
that'd be so
18
good,
years ago, and then the second, the 2.0, which still was not the greatest, was again at least a decade.
yeah,
Right. So
no,
it's
you're right,
not going to run into that frustration of collectors where like, oh, here we go, another Han and Chewie. Nobody's going to say that, you
no,
know.
no,
Especially
honestly,
if they do a proper Chewie with I think they've done it in the past on one of the early ones, but an updated one where he's got 3PO in the backpack. 3PO's properly
mm,
chromed. The backpack is mixed media with an actual net. You got wires hanging out. Like technology has come so far in such a short time with being able to execute these statues in such a nuanced way. I
yeah,
think they can have a lot of fun with some of the light side characters.
no, you're right, and I think like I was gonna say that anything with those original trilogy characters, you can do anything, and
Yeah.
people are gonna love it as long as the likeness is okay, right? If they get the likeness right, which I will say, the Luke that they just did with the X-wing one,
It's about an
I
8
think
out
it
of 10.
I think
It's
it looks
there.
good. Yeah, I think
It's
it looks
there. Yeah.
good. I would be happy to put that in my collection. It's just really big, it's and expensive, so it's hard to. But again, that's why, Jason, you mentioning this before, that's why you come to the convention and show that statue and how good it is. If it's that good and you're trying to sell it to people like me,
Hmm.
you come to the convention and you put that up and you show it and you let the work speak for itself.
I
I don't
think,
get it. I
look,
don't get it.
I'm pretty new to the convention world, okay? I've been to a handful of celebrations, and then there was about an 8 year span where I hadn't gone to any. Right, I think London was the first or maybe second one after not
Mm-hmm.
going for like
Mm-hmm.
8 or 10 years or something. But I'd been to some of the earlier celebrations. But other than that, I hadn't been to like the fan expos until just recently. The Comic Cons. I'd been to Comic Con once, like back in like 2014 or 15. I was there for an afternoon, passed through, didn't really like get much or understand much of the whole collector sphere aspect of it. Um, but I think from a collector's perspective, there's some. I mean, there's the impulse stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're there, you're in the middle of it all, you're just overstimulated, and but then there's your genuine aspect of seeing something and seeing it in in real life right in front of you, being able
Mm-hmm.
to potentially handle it, look at the detail. And the perfect example is I primarily collect Star Wars and only Star Wars. I like Blade Runner. I had some Blade Runner stuff.
Yep.
I have a few models outside of Star Wars, but primarily Blade Runner. You know, Star Wars is my significant. I have a few like random bits in here, like a John Wick figure here or something there. But dude, what did I buy last year at Comic Con because I physically saw it in person? I got the Deadpool and Wolverine duel.
Yeah. 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 I remember that.
I would have never purchased that through a picture.
It's true.
Never.
Yeah.
I saw that in person, and I was able to see all the finer detail down to the hair on the arms and the detail in the clothing and the wrinkles. And I
Well,
mean, plus they were giving us Smoke and Dale too. But
and
that,
Jason, and the hype was there for it. The hype was
yeah, but
all
even
over
even
that.
if the
You know,
even if the movie was a flop, it just looks visually, it
it
looks
does.
so good.
Yeah, for sure.
It,
And
it
and
made a
and
huge
Deadpool stuff
difference.
was everywhere, but that's another example of why that's these companies know that that's going to happen. Like they
Yeah.
know they're not stupid. They know this thing's out in theaters during SDCC. They know people are going to be pumped. They putting a statue out like that's a no brainer.
Hmm.
It and not Sideshow not being there to do that. I don't know. It maybe maybe what's interesting is I'd love to talk to someone at Sideshow to see why they made that decision, but maybe it is that other companies like Iron Studios, Blitzway, Prime One decided they wanted to start showing things at the convention themselves. And so Sideshow wasn't going to have as much to show, and so they were like, "Well, maybe we just shouldn't do it." But I don't think that's the case. I think it was COVID,
I
right?
think COVID hit. It
COVID hit.
changed the yeah, it
It
changed
changed
the
everything.
course of what they were going to do, and they realized why go back. But I also think they had the mindset of they've been in the game for so long. It's like, well, it's going to sell whether we go or not.
Yeah,
But that's not necessarily true. Yes, it will, but will it sell better if people get to see it? 100%.
I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, we'll see what happens, guys. I mean, that the Sideshow Con stuff, the stuff they do on their own, it'll be fun to see that either way, and we'll see some interesting stuff come out of that. But man, it'd be so much fun to see them there. The next one we're going to talk about real quick, which I think I think Regal Robot are there, I believe.
Yes. Yes, they'll have a booth there.
They'll have a booth there. So obviously we're going to see some Regal Robot stuff, which is great. I love seeing them there. I love seeing them at these conventions because it's such a unique thing that they have. Like all their stuff's so different and so interesting and so high quality, and I just love it. I love the Regal Robot stuff. So I think we'll see. I think we'll see some new, maybe them showing some new maquettes. I would imagine, Jay, like
I believe so, yeah.
they always have maquettes, right? They'll probably show some new maquettes. I would think the big thing that we might see from Regal Robot would be the Slug. Yeah.
Possibly. We'll see the slug. We'll probably see an exclusive magnet.
Okay. Yeah, because they always
Yep.
do some sort of small exclusive. You're right,
Yeah.
and that's cool.
Um,
That's cool. I like that they do that.
I mean, so far we only got the one exclusive maquette, which was the Max Regal signature, which is only available. Oh no, that was Celebration, was
That's
it?
right.
Was that
It
Celebration or
was
Comic Con?
Celebration.
It was
I
Celebration.
think it was
Okay.
Celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when they teased the Tuscan at the time, and
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
still
what's.
nice to see that you're going to get a few teasers
But
and
again,
get a.
this goes back to our previous discussion with Sideshow. Like, this is like seeing the Tuscan in person, right? When we got to do that, when we got to see it at
Oh, it changed a lot of
con.
minds.
I'm telling you, like there were people going into that saying, "Oh, this thing looks really ridiculous. It's not the right,
It doesn't look like the
size,
Tuscan, and yeah,
whatever." And then you go and see it in your person, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, that
this is
really
magnificent. Yeah.
good." Yeah, and that I think that probably convinced me. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty. I don't know if I ordered it
There was
before
a
that.
few. I got quite a few
Um,
messages of people saying now that I've seen this in person, it's a
right.
must-have piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, I think we'll see the slug, and I think there's two versions of that. Correct? There's the prop version, and
Yes.
then what? Like what's the other version? Do you know?
I know there's a difference in size. One might be static, one might be a sort of mimic of the puppet. I don't know if it's like functional, but
Yeah,
I don't know too much about the space
I
slug, to be
think
honest.
I think one is like the puppet thing that you're talking about. The other one I think actually has like a little bit of a like a scene built up around. You know, like it's actually coming out of
Okay, yeah,
like
that
he's
makes
coming out of
sense.
the crater, or whatever it is, the asteroid. So like I think they'll probably show those because we haven't seen a lot of those and people are really excited about it. So you would think they would be showing those, but we'll have
Yeah.
to see. Um, I would for Regal Robot, I would absolutely love to see some more. I like the maquette line that they're doing. I think people are crazy about that, which is awesome. But I'd love to see some more one-to-one pieces or at least bigger pieces from them.
A
And
bust or something along those lines, yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously for me, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see an Ewok. I'd love to see Wicket. You know, who knows if that's actually gonna happen, or ever happen. But man, it would be so great if we got to see that, something like that. But I would be happy if we saw any larger piece from them. Anything. Like I just think that's I feel like that's what makes Regal Robots so special is when they make pieces like what they just did with Indiana Jones, right? They just made that what is it, Donovan's demise, and
Yes.
it's just it's Regal Robot. It's perfect. It's like exactly what they do and who they are. I feel like what makes them really special. So I want to see more of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if we don't. Jason and I don't know what we're gonna see from them. You know, we haven't gotten any clue at all.
Wink, wink.
Um,
No, I'm kidding. No, we
no, we
don't.
haven't. But we're
Please
also
don't message me.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. But we also we know they're gonna be there, right, Jay? We
Hmm.
know they're gonna be there, yeah. Um, so that'll be fun. That'll be at least fun to go to the booth and be able to see
How great
them
would
and
that
talk
be
to them.
though to see like a bust or something
Oh,
as a teaser?
that'd be so
That'd be
cool.
fantastic.
I would love that. I would love that. And you know they do have a bunch of other little things. Like they've got the art pieces, like the art decor things.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what's cool about the Regal Robot booth is they also bring in one of their like furniture pieces,
Yeah.
just as like a display thing, and it's just cool.
Yeah.
Just a fun
Because I
thing
think
to.
some collectors tend to get laser focused on maquettes, or they make a number of other things. They make desks, they make furniture, they do
Mm-hmm,
custom pieces, they do
mm-hmm.
one-off pieces, they do life-size pieces. So yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully this is the kind of stuff I want to see. The bigger stuff is what I would really like to see, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what they end up
Free
bringing.
Grogu maquette to the first 10 people online. No, I'm kidding.
I
Edit that
would
out.
be far away from that line. I promise. And then let's go to PCS. So PCS is always one that it's kind of honestly kind of one that I forget about a lot.
I was gonna say PCS is a sleeper. A lot of people overlook or aren't aware of or don't even know they exist.
Yeah, I just forget about PCS a lot for some reason. But every time we stop at their booth. Like the last time we were at the SDCC
It was jaw
24,
dropping.
it was amazing. It was
Literally, yeah.
we walked up on the Darth Maul hyper. I don't know. Was it the hyperreal? It might have been the hyperreal. It might not have been. It might have been the regular one, but it was still so
But it didn't
good.
matter. It was still, yeah,
It was so good.
amazing.
And then you move a little bit further into their booth, and then there's freaking gladiator dude. What's his face?
Yeah.
Um,
They had Michael Jackson.
they did so many interesting things.
Oh, who was the one from Hellboy?
No,
the
that
fish
was
guy.
East. That was so that was a different. That was something. It's a different.
Oh, that was all right. They were. I remember they were close to each other though.
Yeah, that was really though that company's crazy too. The Hellboy stuff they make was ridiculous. But PCS, man, they kill it every time, and I'm really excited to see. Hopefully they're bringing this guy with them to show
Oh,
him.
I think we'll see him there.
Yeah, to show in person. Hopefully we see it next to Maul so that you can kind of get a feel for how these things look together, which would be really cool. But man, hopefully we
This
see
thing
some
is
more.
wild, huh?
Yeah, so cool. But hopefully we see some more pieces from them. I mean, these are
Well, I think
1/3
just
scale, so they're huge. That's
yeah,
the only
but
problem.
I think just like Blitzway, look, they're not going to waste this license.
No.
They're going to be very, very conscientious about how they do this because there was a little bit of chatter about a year ago, maybe a little prior to, about the bases with the sort of mini dioramas, right? And that was the other thing that we were taken aback by when we saw it in person. We
Hmm.
realized, wow, this was so well done, so well thought out, so well executed, and such high contrast and detail and nuance that it really added to the piece. It didn't visually compete with it. It didn't
Right.
take away
Sure.
from the piece. It added a layer of fun, but
Hmm.
also sort of elegance. And if they continue down this road of like carefully choosing the pose, the overall quality and sculpt, and not rush these out, I think this is going to be a line that's going to be around for a decent amount of time, and I think we're going to see some amazing offerings from these for sure.
Yeah, I agree. They're such a good company, and
And very for 1/3 scale, very affordable.
it is. It's just like 1/3 is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I just can't. And I think obviously that's a licensing thing. It's not I don't think
You know
it's
what I like about
necessarily
the one
their
third though, Matt?
choice.
The only thing I'd say I like about the 1/3 is it puts you in this weird space where you can have that one piece, but you can
Mhm.
just have a Darth Maul, and that's it.
Yeah.
You could be at a point where they've already
Hmm.
released 10 statues,
Yeah.
and even if you only have one, it
No, you're
works
right.
because it's 1/3. It stands out. It's its own piece,
You're right.
or you can have two or three.
It's like if they came out with an absolute killer Luke, right? Um, I could see myself picking that up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just putting that in a area. I don't know
And it does,
where,
and it
but
can work with the companion piece, or you don't need the companion piece, and
right.
that's what's so great about the way they do the base with the diorama on
Yeah,
each
it's
side
true.
because it tells that story. So you can have a whole set of them, or you can have a standalone piece because it's 1/3, because it's so large, because it has such a presence to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So you
Yeah,
think they'll you think so? We'll see. I think we'll see this both versions, right? There's a seated version,
hmm
the stand-up version. I
hmm
think we'll see them all. I wonder if they're going to tease another.
Well, that's not that. Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll probably. What's interesting is will they keep going down the dark
The
side?
dark side.
Will they keep
Yeah.
doing dark side? Right? They come out with eventually with a Vader? Will they do, Count Dooku? Will they do, or will we start to eventually at some point see some light side characters? How cool would it be to see a Qui-Gon Jinn or a Luke or a Han Solo or a Leia? It would be really cool to see any of that stuff from them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they end up continuing to go down the dark side route, which I think I kind of think they probably will. Um, that's kind of where they're at right now with Maul and Palpatine. So I kind of think they might do maybe one or two more dark sides before they come out with another light side character, but could be wrong. I don't know.
So
Um,
I was gonna ask, so what do you think about these companies, slowly going down the dark side path?
I think it's easy.
Yeah.
I think it's just easy to make money that way. And that's why I don't blame them for that. Like
Do you think it's more of just like a safe bet?
I think it's a safe bet. I think they just got the license not long ago, at least from what I understand. Um, and I think it's a safe bet. I think what Blitzway did was a little bit more risky. Doing prequel characters, a set of prequel characters to start with. Um, Even though I think is a great decision to do that because I think it's different. Um, I think not starting with original trilogy characters is brave. But that said, yeah, I just think starting with Maul, I think starting with Palpatine, maybe going to Vader. Maybe they do a freaking 1/3 scale Death Trooper, Death Trooper. Some, who knows? I don't. Whatever. Like maybe they do like a trooper of some kind, and it's just kind of easy money. I feel like,
Be nice to see a
but
trooper.
it'd be cool. I don't blame him for that. I think the license is expensive. I think that you got to find your footing.
Yeah,
I don't blame him for that. Um,
yeah.
I think hopefully eventually they can kind of spread their wings and do some more of the kind of stuff that we would love to see them do. I will say that it kind of doesn't matter. I'm not gonna buy. I don't really think I would buy a 1/3 scale statue. I just don't think I would. I think I don't have space for it. I don't know where the hell it would go, and it would be like what you said, Jason. It'd have to be like its own standalone something somewhere.
It'd have to be the right piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd have to. And I just unless maybe if it was like a Hoth Luke, and it was absolutely incredible, then
Yeah.
maybe I could do it. But yeah, so they can kind of come out with whatever they want. I'm thinking for people like I think PJ's into this line a good bit. I think there's other people I've seen that are really excited about this line. Hopefully for them, they're coming out with some really fun, interesting pieces, and like a general Grievous at this scale would be stupid. Like I don't even know how they do something like that at 1/3 scale. I mean that's crazy, right? So it's a lot. But I think that'd be really cool to see them kind of branch out. So we'll see what happens with PCS. That's one booth for sure we'll be stopping by. I don't know. Obviously, if all these guys are there, we will. But we always keep an eye out for PCS. And then, guys, one of the things we aren't talking about, which is, I mean, let me do this. Let me go here. Let me go to Iron Studios and go to. Let me find their Star Wars section, because I think Iron Studios is another fantastic brand that obviously they have some smaller scale stuff that's not super great likeness and some other things wise, but some of their smaller stuff is really good. And then they'll every now and then they'll come out with like really nice like larger pieces, like quarter scale pieces, and they're fantastic. Like Iron Studios does an absolute killer job, in my opinion. So that's one that for sure we're going to stop by and we're going to look at. Jason, anything specific that you might?
Iron Studios always surprises me. I mean, I think they put out a lot of great work.
Yeah,
This is another company where pitches don't always do their work justice.
yeah, I agree.
I think seeing them in person makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have my heart or mind on anything specific, but I thought it was cool to see them do the that sort of prolific Hoth Vader in the 1/10 version.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. But yeah, I mean, they'll definitely have some stuff on display and some stuff for sale, so that'll be good.
Yeah, I don't see any.
I do like the Rogue One scene. I know that's not new, but I do like the Rogue One scene where Vader's like in the hallway and the guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And that mall, I know that mall's only premium format, but that mall is an amazing mall.
All their quarter scale stuff's fantastic. I don't see anything new right now that's at least on their website. I feel like they maybe have teased a couple things. I could be wrong, but I think they have. Iron Studios always comes out with some cool stuff, and they always have some really neat things to see at SDCC. So I'm looking forward to that. I think we'll see some nice stuff from them. And like Jason said before, they were the ones that had that killer Deadpool and Wolverine piece that
Yep.
Jason ended up picking up, and it was awesome, and it was really cool to see in person. So they'll
And
have
the
some
other thing
stuff.
too, at that time, I don't know if it was the first day we went but because it was at the con, they had sort of a pre-order bonus where it was like $100 off. I forget there was something else. There was two incentives. But that also, because I
Right.
asked, I said, well, I'm sort of undecided because I don't collect this type of stuff. And I said, if I wait, and they're like, no, it's if you do that now. So I kind of like
Mm.
that they can incentivize you to say, oh, we can take this, this much off, or offer you free shipping, or offer you a free this, and that's always fun. And as a collector, that always just adds more to the desirability of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it'll be fun to see what they come out with. So one of the companies we aren't going to talk about is Hot Toys. Dude, guys, it's so hard to know what Hot Toys are going to come out with. Like,
Especially now, it's so hot and fast. No pun intended.
it's just they just come out. It's a freaking fire hose, and they just come out so much stuff. And I just don't like. I don't know where to start. Like we're gonna see a lot of cool things from Hot Toys. There's no question. It'll probably be. I don't think they have any sort of booth or anything that we can see. And do they have anything in person? I keep forgetting
No.
because I think InArt is there, so we'll see some cool stuff from InArt. There are some other 1/6 companies there, but I don't think Hot Toys are there because I think they normally showed stuff through Sideshow.
Yeah,
So
it goes to the Sideshow Con.
So the Sideshow Con will have a bunch of Hot Toy stuff. So we'll see a bunch of really cool things there. But again, like I said, it's just it's hard to tell, guys. They I can't keep track of the stuff they've already come out with, and I couldn't even begin to guess at this point. I mean, we at one point, do you remember, Jason? We were like, man, how cool would it be if they came out with like a C-3PO on Chewbacca's back, and like
Yeah.
that would be awesome. They'll never do it, but that would be awesome. Well, they did it, and like that's one of so many figures where we were like, I don't think we'll ever see that, and they've done them, and which is great, but it's also a lot for people to collect, and yeah. Anyway, we'll see a bunch of stuff from them. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. So yeah, I think guys, I think that's going to be it from us. We were just kind of talking the other day saying, man, I was talking with Jason about like his flight and just some of the stuff that he's got going, like when he's going to come out here, what we're going to do when we're out here, some of that stuff. And I was just saying that, man, we should be talking about what we expect to see and what we're excited to see. And I'm really looking forward to SDCC. So, Jay, anything?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to a number of things. I'm looking forward to see EFX. I'm going to see what
Mm,
they're going to have out on display. It'd be nice to see if they have the. I was talking to Jay Kishwara, who sculpted the EFX Vader, the
yeah.
McQuarrie Vader,
Mm-hmm.
and the EFX McQuarrie Stormtrooper. So it'd be nice to see that on display. We actually, if we can get schedules aligned, we might actually have a conversation with him about working on those alongside Ralph.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
going about 15 years back. There's the possibility of the TIE Interceptor. Whether or not we actually see that at SDCC or not is yet to be
Mm-hmm.
known. And then also the possibility of the Vader reveal, which again has been
Yeah.
in the works for years. And I do believe we'll see that. And as I mentioned, my curiosity behind that is what type of materials do they choose to go with, and what are we going to see in the prototype versus the finished piece? Because I do
Right.
think once we see these reveals, I do think pre-order is going to be either then or right around the corner. So that'll be
Yeah.
nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
guys, there's
that'll
gonna
just be
be
a lot of fun random bits and just all the other stuff that comes
there's
along.
just
Bait, Super 7, the loyal subjects, all the, for just the 80s fans and things like that,
yeah.
Turtles, and yeah.
Mattel. There's gonna be a lot more. There's a whole lot more. I mean, obviously we won't cover everything, but there's gonna be a lot to be excited
Yeah,
about for
HasLab stuff.
SDCC.
And, yeah.
Yeah, HasLabs. There's some really cool stuff, and then there's also all the little tiny things like the small stuff like Stance is always at SDCC, and
Yeah.
they have sunglasses at there's always like really cool Star Wars stuff there. So I'm looking forward to Hallmark. Always has some really cool Star Wars stuff. I'm excited. So we're looking forward to it. I just wanted to make sure we kind of got this out there to say, hey, SDCC is right around the corner. It's coming super fast, and we want to be ready for it. We want to be excited for it. If you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, leave them in the comment section if there's anything you kind of want us to check out when we're there, that you know of. Let us know. But we'll be there. We'll be trying to do some live streams here and there.
Yeah.
Trying to cover as much as we can. We don't want to go crazy because we don't want to we actually want to enjoy the convention too. So
Yeah, we
you know,
tend not to go too hardcore. I mean, there's
yeah,
a few people I'll be talking to about some of the things that are in the works or that get to be on display, and we'll try to share that type of stuff after we have those conversations.
yeah,
Yeah, but we're not there walking around with our phones out, recording people and recording things. We
no,
might take some pictures if we see anything that's really interesting, just to give you that, sort of in-depth look. But the thing is, too, is you have 1,000 other people doing the same thing,
yeah.
so that's
You'll
why we
see.
try not to. Yeah,
You're gonna see everything. So
yeah, you're gonna see it one way or the other,
yeah,
and
that's true.
yeah,
No, yeah, for sure. And we'll make sure. Uh, like we're gonna try real hard to do a live with the guys, the UK guys, so that we can get some of their opinions on some of the things that come out at SDCC. I'm sure even maybe before that, because I know we're gonna try to do a live next week. It could be that some of this. I wouldn't be surprised if some of this SDCC stuff starts to come out even this week coming up. Um, because it just makes the sooner the better for some of these companies to release. So I think we'll start seeing some of that stuff and we'll be able to talk about it. And then, hopefully what I'm hoping is for the convention is that Jason and I can get our eyes on these things in person and talk about it and tell you what we kind of see if we think something's worth it or not or whatever. Right. I'm just looking forward to that. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for us, guys. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. We'll try to be doing a live next week, like I said, at the end of the week, and gonna be coming out with I think some more spotlights soon as well.
get a few
Um,
spotlights. I think we get a few collector ones in the works too. Yeah, we have
okay,
a few things in the works. And I appreciate everybody with their patience, my health. I just finished up with the surgery. I have one more surgery in a couple weeks, and thanks to all who reached out to me. I appreciate it. But as we sort of get back on track or work in between those schedules, yeah, we have a few spotlights, a few collector tours, and what else do we? I think we potentially have a couple unboxings coming up. So yeah,
yeah,
we'll unroll them and announce them in the group as we keep moving forward.
okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise, guys, find us in the group, Facebook group. If you're not part of it, join the Facebook group. Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
sounds good. Thank you.